Okay, so do I gather that all of you are here to find out about Texas Research Ramblers?
Yes.
Let me do a full screen now. Okay. All right, we are in Bryan College Station, and we have a membership of about 100, and 40-ish, 45-ish are very active or reasonably active. It costs you $20 a year to join as a individual, and $35 if it's a couple. We have not skipped a beat. We missed one meeting when the world shut down in March of 2020. But we're fortunate that we have just one general meeting, but we have two little affiliated groups that have spun off of us that had been meeting regularly. One of them every month, and then another, a history writer, family history writers, every month that had 4 or 5 Wednesdays in it. We meet the last Wednesday of every month as a general meeting, the last Wednesday morning of every month, except November and December. And so with the family history writers leader, and then we had a computer users group that had been for years meeting once a month. And so those leaders said, we're going to keep on going. And they started putting together, we call them in-house members of our group that would share how they got on what they were doing on certain websites and what have you. And we all put together odds and ends of stories, and we had topics like, tell us about your craziest ancestor. Tell us about an ancestor that served in some war. So we've met almost every Wednesday since COVID started. But for our general meetings, we do have, it's a bigger meeting. And we've had the best one. Well, that's not fair. Not the best one, but the most exciting one was that we had a lady from London who is professionally a person who designs clothes for TV shows and movies. And she talked to us about dating old photographs. And so from London, can you imagine what it would have cost us had we flown her in and all that stuff? We paid £200, which is roughly $200, a little over $200. So now that we can be on Zoom, we can do amazing things. And that's the thing that I think I want you all to hear, is that you can take advantage of this new technology that we're all forced to use and do great things. We've had some people from Salt Lake City told us how to, and again, that's part of, I want you to hear some of the programs that we've done, because you might think they're interesting and want to see about them yourselves. We had a lady from Salt Lake City from FamilySearch.org who told us how to find our famous relatives. And you have to, of course, be a member of, which costs no money. You have to be registered with Family Search. And so once you're registered, you can find out if you are related to famous people. She also set our group up so that we could find out if we were related to anyone within our own group. And I'm a Yankee, and so I did not expect to be related to any of these Southerners who belong to Texas Ramblers, but I'm related to 2 of them distantly. But anyway, that was fun. And but of course, thanks to that, my granddaughter is a member of Family Search, and I put her name in, wanting to get her mother's line, because she's my son's daughter. And lo and behold, not only did it didn't show me anything about her mother's line, but it did show her father's line through my husband. And I discovered that they were all, I'm not, but all my children and grandchildren are related to Mayflower passengers. So they were all excited about that. So it's just amazing what you can find out. And so and I'm happy to answer any questions about some of the things that we have done. but I wanted to tell you a little bit about what's coming. We have, we're in negotiation with, if you watched the Waco Genealogical Library lockout, and that's an annual thing that they have multiple speakers, and one of their employees did a thing on maps, and she was so good, and she's going to either on Zoom or come to Bryan and tell us about maps. And then we're in discussion with the director of the Clayton Library. She's one of our favorite speakers and has come many times into Bryan, and she's going to come back and tell us what's happening at Clayton. As I said, you are welcome to join our Zoom. Our Zoom setup is that you have to be invited. So you would have to contact me for me to send you the invitation to join. We've not been doing open meetings on Zoom, but you're welcome to ask for an invitation. And so all of our meetings are on Zoom, but the last meeting is Zoom and in person. So let me stop right there and see if there's any questions. Unmute
Yes.
yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Do you all have a website or Facebook presence?
Yes. You can just go to Texas Research Ramblers, and it'll fill in the rest of it, but it's Texas Research Ramblers Genealogical Society, and pull that up and it'll give you the calendar. Let me tell you just write this down. It's Shelby Rowan at suddenlink.net. And it will tell you that on the website also.
And Shelby Rowan is one name, or?
Yes, Shelby Rowan is all together. I brought the calendar with me. And at the end of March, Gary Pinkerton, you might be particularly interested in the April one, especially. Gary Pinkerton is going to tell us about Trammell's Trace here in Texas. But in April, we're assuming that the 1950 census will be out, and we have Ed Donachie coming, and I believe my vice president told me that he's from Family Search. Anyway, he is coming to talk to us about the 1950 census. And then the end of May, Kurt Locklear, and if you're a resident of this area at all, you may know that name. He's an author of Texas historical fiction books, and it plays a mean guitar. And anyway, he's coming to talk to us about how to write historical fiction and how genealogical research fits into doing that. And I've met him a couple of times. I'm looking forward to hearing him. So any other questions? We're working on, a friend of mine is a retired surveyor, and I've always thought that surveyors should have a lot to talk to us about genealogy. And the last one that I contacted was not a historian. And Henry Mayo is a historian. And he said, oh, yes, there's so much from survey records that you can learn. And we're hoping that maybe sometime early fall, he can talk to us and tell us how to finance. What?
It sounds very exciting.
Yes, I'm excited about our general meetings. And our other regular meetings, the little individual meetings, are just so much fun. We just did one, tell us about some colorful character in your family. And some of our members have some real colorful characters. So that was fun. That's my little speech. And did anybody join us that they didn't hear it all? Okay.
I've enjoyed it very much, Shelby.
Yes, I know about it. I haven't visited, but I need to go.
Yes, but the reason that I asked you specifically, especially with what you just said, they are working on a project of helping local residents do their genealogy. Mm-hmm. And as you have all discovered, I've tried to help several people, And as you have all discovered, unfortunately, it is very difficult to do African American genealogical research because the names are just not there. And so one of our members is very, very involved. Two of our members actually are very involved in this project at the African American Museum. And they asked at our last meeting if any of us would help. And so I'm wondering, Lisa, if this is something that you might be willing to help a little bit with. If I ask them to contact you. Or do you have a full plate like the rest of us?
We're growing because I am bringing the community in Fifth Ward to Family Search so they can start researching. And in Columbus, Texas, I'm bringing them. So Carrie Ann has been very helpful. The ladies have been very helpful in teaching us. And my daughter, we do like finding our ancestors. So I can help and give information and help as much as I can create outside the box ideas of what to do, because that's it. You got to learn what to do to go into the community to get people involved, because we don't know this is going on. I didn't know anything about Family Search till they contacted us a couple of years ago and did a fantastic job in helping us.
Would you be so kind as to send me an email so that I had your email address?
Okay, I will.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you.
I'm excited. I love all of you guys for the ancestry work that you do in finding our history, because that is very important to all of us mentally and socially and within our soul. So thank you very much for the work that you do. I'm gonna drop out this year because I got to see what's going on. So I will email you and I'll see you around. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions that I can answer for anyone?
This is Darwin Hutchison again in Dallas. I'm very excited about the Trammell Trace because Trammell is some of my family.
Oh.
And I'm very, very excited about that.
So will you send me an email so that I can send you an invitation? Do you want to join us that morning?
Sure, be glad to.
Okay, send me an email and put something in the subject line so that I know you're from here. But that's on March 30th, and it starts, we gather at any time after 9, but the program starts promptly at 9:30. And so just send me an email and I'll see that you get an invitation to that Zoom, for that Zoom number.
Sounds great. Also, are you guys working in Austin or Colorado County? That's where a lot of my German families came in from over in Germany. They came into Austin and Colorado County, which is around Brenham in that general area.
Yes, I don't know exactly how to answer that because we have many members who are definitely Texas people. One of my other hats, I am the genealogical consultant for the Star of the Republic Museum at Washington on the Brazos. And under that hat, I have responsibility for all the signers. I verify anyone who thinks they're a descendant of one of the signers, and I have all the family trees. So yes, I have a lot of people who are in Brenham area and all over in this area. And so again, if you were looking for a specific person, you might email me and ask, do you know anything about the so-and-so family?
Okay, great. Fantastic. That's awesome.
I know a lot about those 60 families.
Yeah. My grandmother, my mom's mother, was born in Milheim, which is Cat Spring. Actually, it's right next to it in that area, which is just right there in Austin County. But anyway, glad to be on again, and that is super. And I'm so thrilled to be getting to listen to the Trammell Trace. That's awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.